I just would love to get my inner Newman on from Seinfeld. That would just be great. It'd just be throwing out those quotes and everything. Like, hey, weren't you supposed to give me the first player token? Oh, it must have got lost in the mail. So,
Well, many of you will know that Gen Con is just right around the corner. I think it's the first weekend in August. And while the four of us will not be there, I know you guys are going to be sad that you can't tell us hi in person. We still wanted to look into Gen Con, see the excitement, and try to figure out some of the games that were going to be released. So we went through Board Game Geek. They have an amazing tool there that lets you know what is upcoming at any convention, whether it's Origins, Gen Con, or the Spiel in Germany. So we went to that tool, and we looked out the list of 400 games, and we each picked out a few of them to talk about. So John, let's start with you. What did you find?
well, I thought Chris actually started this segment, but that's all right. I'll start.
What?
All right.
Nitpicky.
Yes, we all went through the list of what is like 300 and some games that's coming out of Gen Con or what have you. Some of them I think are already at retail though, so that was a little disappointing when I was looking at the list. So none of the ones that I picked, I believe, are available anywhere yet. But I narrowed it down somehow to 3 games. It was not easy, and here they are in no particular order as to which ones I like the best. But the first one is from what is that? Brotherware Games?
Brother Wise.
Brother Wise. Maybe that's it.
Yep. It's that.
Must have been a typo. Empire's End. Have either of you heard of Empire's End?
I, matter of fact, have. It might
There we
be
go.
on
2
my
to
list.
4 players. You're not supposed to say that till it's your turn. Daniel.
Oh, sorry. It's not on my list.
It's 2 to 4 players, 45 to 60 minutes. I really like it. It's like it's you're not building up an empire. Everyone's empire is at its peak and it's going to collapse. And so you're facing different disasters and different things, and it has the reverse bidding, like in like High Society when you're bidding for the things that are bad, and like in what's the other one? No Thanks. And so that's another cool thing about it. So it's like, well, do I want to just go ahead and maybe I'm the best prepared for this disaster? I'll let it go around the board again, see if I get some more, see if I get it higher, then I get the cash and I take the disaster. I can withstand the barbarian attack or whatever it is. Sounds like a really cool game. That one's Empire's End is one of the ones I was excited about. Another one is Terracotta Army by Board and Dice.
Okay.
1 to 4 players. This one is 90 to 120 minutes, which usually puts it up about the borderline of my scale. But how many of you are you guys all familiar with the famous Terracotta Army in China?
Correct.
The,
Oh, is that the
I'm not.
statue?
the ancient buried army that they found. That's always fascinated me.
Okay.
And so this game has like replicas of those figures and like the carts and the horses and the soldiers and everything that you're building and putting on a board. Plus, it's a worker placement, which is my favorite thing. And you're trying to be the best craftsman and make the best soldiers to put in the Terracotta Army. And there's something about where you place them that's kind of like adds prestige to you or what have you. So, and just it looks so amazing. The bad thing about it, I hope this is like a really early advanced copy that you can see online, because the Terracotta Army pieces look amazing. That's one reason to check it out right there. But the people you use to place are literally meeples. I mean, the meepliest meeples, the little chubby 5-star meeples. I'm like, seriously? And they're like, primary colored meeples.
Yeah.
And
I got 2 questions for you.
doesn't really say Terracotta Army to me with those. So hopefully that's just they're using those. No, I got another game to go. You just take that time.
Well, I got a question.
Shove it in your Kalax, buddy.
I got a question about that. Is it part
What's
of the
your
T?
question?
Is it part of the T series, like Zulkin, Teotihuacan?
I don't think so, because
Okay.
this one's easy to pronounce.
Gotcha. Okay,
So I don't think it fits in. So the third one kind of pulled at my heartstrings here, but it's from Big Potato Games, and it's USPS, the Great American Mail Race, baby.
Yes.
Because not only do we all personally know a mail deliverer, but and it's a 2 to 4 players in 45 minutes. But I just would love to get my inner Newman on from Seinfeld. That would just be great. It'd just be throwing out those quotes and everything, like, hey, weren't you supposed to give me the first player token? Oh, it must have got lost in the mail. So I mean, that one just has to be fun to play. I had to throw that one in there. And it looks like a funner, actually, if you play Ticket to Ride, this might be a fun version of Ticket to Ride. So, because it looks like it has a lot of the same kind of mechanics. So, Ticket to Ride plus fun, that could be a good game.
Are you insinuating the Ticket to Ride is not fun?
You can take that any way you want. It's as fun as Terraforming Mars.
The correct answer is yes, it's not.
Thank you. I do have an honorable mention. I have to throw this out there because it's boardgametables.com.
I'm sorry, sir. We're out
and
of...
it's just for the title alone. Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town. That's the name of the game. That's not a Scooby-Doo episode, as my son thought. That's actually the name of the game. I would check that one out when I was there, if I was there, just for the name. But
did you know I was? Well, anyway, I did a voice for Scooby-Doo.
That's fascinating.
Once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to share that sometime. I'll share it sometime.
Were you Don Knotts?
Well, Andy.
All right. No. Well, Chris, what do you have coming on your list?
So I looked through mine. I feel like mine are going to be kind of off the beaten path. I knew, John and especially Daniel would definitely do all the hard-hitting investigative journalism of board games and get me all the real hotness and super pretty, all those silly games. So I decided to go off kind of the beaten path to do some things that I knew you guys wouldn't. So the first one I got is Forgotten Depths. So this game has it's for 1 to 3 players, which, by the way, I thought that was very interesting. 1 to 3, not 4. 1 to 3. I'm not sure why, but that immediately was intrigued. So it's a co-op dungeon crawler. So so I know Andy's in, and it involves a bunch of card playing, and it has like random dungeon tiles. So it's like it's a dungeon crawler, but it's kind of very light. It's kind of a card-based game, but it's got some unique kind of stencil art that I thought was kind of cool. And since it's the dungeon tiles, it's different every single time. And I don't know, it just overall seemed very different and interesting. And since the whole idea was, if we were at Gen Con, what games would we want to go over and look at? That was one that I was like, I just want to know what this is about. And so that's my first one. And then the second one is Thunder Rolls. Now, apparently this was a Kickstarted game. And it's now like shipped, and you can get it at Gen Con or other cons, and then through their website. But otherwise, there's not going to be a major release for it. But it was going to be there, and so I'm a big fan of Formula Day, and now it's Formula D, but whatever. But this one also has kind of a semi dice worker placement. So you roll some dice and choose different actions. Like if the 6 does one thing, while 3 does another kind of type system. And then in addition to that, you also have program movement for moving your cars. But the cool thing about it is it's for 1 to 8, but at all times in a race, there's always 8 players. So even if you play it by yourself, the other 7 are program movement like NPCs, and all the different car drivers have different unique special player powers. You can play it on like a whole circuit. It seemed like the next step in a racing game. So it seems super cool, and it is one I personally will continue to look more into. Pretty excited about that. Final one is Risk Shadow Forces.
I knew it.
All right,
I knew it.
So yeah, it's Risk, people. Okay, that's fine. But here's the deal. Risk was the granddaddy of Legacy. I know some people are kind of over Legacy at this point, but I still think I still love it. I recently played Pandemic Legacy Season 1. I'm still all in. I still think it's the greatest way to play a game. It's super fun. This is basically what it seems like. It's almost like Risk Legacy 2210, which is my favorite form of Legacy. The only Risk I want to play is 2210, and this is it on top. So Legacy on top of 2210. I'm so all in. And the interesting thing is, in addition to like the normal game, apparently there's like these sideboards where like you're kind of warlord from 2210. Which obviously has unique player powers. You go on like little like side skirmish missions, so it's like a little like side like skirmish battle thing. I don't know, but the part of it, there's so much secrecy of this game. I still don't know anything about it. On BGG, there's only 9 pictures, and so I mean, and that tells you something when there's only 9 pictures for a game on BGG. So just a lot that I just want to know what it's all about. And then I got 2 other little fun ones in here. First of all, a Goofy movie is having a game. After all these years, why do we need a Goofy movie game? Like it should, I mean, I love a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
Goof Troop is my childhood. That show was awesome. But like, why now? Like,
I'm pretty sure Andy did the voice of Goofy, right?
Goosh.
So there was that, and then the final one that I was intrigued by, but still put off by, which I'll explain in a minute, was Dungeon, Dice, and Danger. So it's a roll and write by Richard Garfield. So that actually immediately is kind of to me, because all his games are like I don't know. They're not Steve Jackson, but they kind of are. And so, like, everyone's like, oh, he made Magic. It's like, yeah, Magic's good now because he stepped away from the game. But regardless,
those are fighting words.
My problem, Dungeon Dice Danger seems fantastic. It looks great. I like the idea, the theme, all that stuff. My problem with it is it's not infinite players. If you're rolling right, you need to be infinite players. This certain number of players where they're rolling right, You have a mechanism where you and the entire world can play together. You should do that. So.
Cool. So I didn't know Risk Shadow Force was Legacy. That's pretty cool.
Correct.
Yeah. And thanks for picking 3 games and talking about them, Chris. So, Andy.
After the 5th game there, I was like, we got to get out the foghorn. The little buzzer isn't working anymore. So
you can't stop me.
We'll blow you off the stage. Anyway, yeah, so thank you. We're kind of breaking the rules here in this one, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that because I'll break the rules too. Because we have a lot to talk about. It is a Gen Con preview, and there's a ton of games. I'm surprised none of you guys picked the games I picked, so that's kind of cool. I'm excited.
Let's see if they're on my big list.
Yeah.
So let me go over them in no particular order, all right? One that I thought that was interesting that I want to see, it's in the same world as another game that I like. It's called Fall of the Mountain King. It is not in the Hall of the Mountain King, but it is by the same publisher, and that would be Burnt Island Games, who also did Endeavor Age of Sail. So they do great production work. And in the Hall of the Mountain King is just a fantastic game. I think it's really underrated. It's really good. Now, this, again, is not that game. It is not the same mechanics. It is not the same designer. It is not that game at all, but it is sharing the same theme. It's got some of the same theme. And from what I looked at, it looks really interesting. It's got area control aspect to it. It's got a hidden draft mechanism. I'm excited to see this one and get it to the table to get it played. I like a good area control game, and this looks like it might really hit the spot. Another game I'm interested in checking out at Gen Con, if I was going to be there, I would be, that is, would be Clank Catacombs. So Clank Catacombs, Clank, I have a nice, I have kind of a special connection with the Direwolf family who puts out Clank. They used to do so in partnership with Renegade, but now they've gone off on their own and do stuff, and they do great work with, obviously Dune and so many other things in the original Clank. I actually got to sit down and play Crokinole with the game designer of Clank, Paul. And that's where I first learned to play Crokinole. He taught me, and it was so cool. But then we got to talking more, and I actually do voiceover work for Direwolf. So they've got an online game that is very similar to Magic called Eternal, which is fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, you need to. I voiced the main character there, Jack the Bounty Hunter, and the narrator in that. And anyway, so I've got this cool connection with Direwolf.
I've never heard you name drop as much as you have in this episode.
Well, I don't want to humble brag, but
Andy, let me know when you play Clank with the creator of Crokinole. That's what I want to see.
Oh, that's right. That's next on the bucket list.
There you go.
But I'll have to resurrect him.
Grave robbing needed for that, though. I assume
he's dead somewhere in some Canadian grave. So
he's up in Canada.
He's probably frozen under a few layers of tundra or something. So anyway, the final game that I wanted to check out. That would be, and I didn't even talk about Clank Catacombs, really, sorry, but I didn't get I'm curious what they're doing next in the Clank universe, because they've done some cool things, Clank in Space, and then they did the Clank Acquisitions Incorporated, and so I'm not sure what all is going to be different about Catacombs, but I'm curious to see what is there. The other game that I want to see is one that I just kind of stumbled upon called Starship Captains.
Yes, that was on my big list.
That looked really cool. It looked like it's put up by Czech Gaming Edition, CGE, and they always do great games. I love most everything they do, and so this just looked like a fun thematic game. And I guess I'll pass because my time's up.
So Andy, are you actually a fan of Star Trek?
I am.
Okay.
I was a big I was a big Trekkie back in the day. I got in. Now, I will tell you that my love of Trek really stopped after The Next Generation.
Well, as with most of us.
Man, Deep Space Nine, dude, you have to watch Deep Space Nine.
It's
so
okay.
Good.
Deep Space Nine was good too, but Voyager.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Voyager, but that Starship Captains one. I mean, it's Star Trek the game. They're just not saying it because they can't.
Yeah.
So my picks, I will say this, we'll never be able to prove it, but I wanted to pick out what I was going to predict what the three of you were going to talk about, and I nailed one for each of you. I knew Chris
No
was going to
way.
pick Risk. I knew John was going to pick the mailman one, and I knew Andy was going to pick. What was it? What was the first thing that you said?
Fall of the Mountain King.
Yes,
Fall
Follow
of
the Mountain King, because I knew
That's
you
easy.
loved that
Yeah.
one. So, and actually, I thought Chris was going to pick, he did not go with, and I'll just start with that one, and that is, what is it called? Catherine, the city.
Oh, that's
of
what I thought looked good.
the Zarya.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Nice,
That
nice,
looked great.
yeah. So it's an ugly game. So that's why I assumed
Oh, now I
Chris
see why
was
you
going to
thought it was
scroll and be like, "Ooh, look at that hideous cover. I like that."
It's true.
Oh, I thought the cover looked great.
I don't know. And the board looks a little ethno-y, a little Brian Boru-y. So I was like,
Maybe.
yeah. So anyways, but what makes me excited about it, even though it doesn't look great, is that it is from my favorite publisher, and that is Capstone Games. And Capstone I trust. Everything they make is just golden, and I want anything that they
What a
make.
mark.
So if they have faith in this one, I'm definitely going to pick this one up. It looks like it has the biggest mechanics on it is like hand management and multi-use cards. So every card's going to give you several different options on what to play and how to use it. So that is a big plus for me. The other one I wanted to go with was BoardGameTables.com's game Bear Raid. So
Oh, really? That's
yes.
already out though.
It is. Well, is it though? I'm not sure, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I only saw one review on Board Game Geek, and it was from Tom Vassell. And I wanted to pick a BoardGameTables.com game because I've recently have a minor relationship with them, and I kind of wanted to talk about them a little bit. But when I actually looked into this game, I was like, I actually do want to talk about this. It is a pure stock game. Also, it was designed by Ryan Courtney, which is the designer of Pipeline, which I love Pipeline. I love stock games. And what's interesting about this one, it does short stocks. So it's a concept that's kind of weird, and someone tried to explain it to me once, and I was very confused by it. But I'm really intrigued by this idea of selling short. Well, it's not even selling short. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. But regardless,
So-
I'm excited for it. Chris, you're the finance guy. What is it?
Right. So shorting a stock is believing that the stock will go down. Like
Gotcha.
instead of like when you buy a stock, you're like, oh, cool, I'm buying it $30 because I want it to go to 50, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Here it's at 50, and you're like, I think it's going to go to 30, and so you do that, and then if it gets hit 30, then you get paid and that kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha.
So you're actually hoping things go down.
Gotcha.
So Daniel, you haven't played Bear Raid then?
I have not played Bear Raid. No.
Okay, I actually have played it.
Oh, you
And-
have.
Yes,
Oh.
and it is. Don't think you're going to drag like anyone that does. How do I put this? Any kind of just casual gamers into this, because
Yeah.
it's numbers, and it's playing stocks, and it's cheating people over.
Yep.
And the cool thing about it is that it shows you how the stocks can be manipulated in future rounds. And so you have these different dice, and nobody knows what dice you have in your pool, and you
Yeah.
can add to the bag, take dice out of the bag, and everything. Certain dice get out, and then that's what affects the stocks. And so you can be like, yeah, I'm shorting that bad, boys. It's going to go down. All these
Gotcha.
people have been buying it. They are hosed.
Yeah.
And so it took me about half a game to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
But it is pure buying, selling stock.
Cool.
And yeah.
Well,
This
you
should
just
be
made.
called Chris Thomas in the game.
I know.
There you
Well,
go,
and-
man.
incredible.
There you go.
I know.
Ooh, he's getting hot over there.
Yes.
For
So.
real. Like,
All right, and my last one. Those of you who picked 5, let me talk. I picked Emperor's End. I didn't think John would see that one and be interested. So there you go. Emperor's End, Brother Wise Games by Empire's End. Sorry, by John D. Clare, who did Mystic Veil and Space. So I really like those concept of the putting the acrylic cards on top of each other and seeing through them. I don't know
yeah.
if this one does that or not, but yeah, maybe.
I don't think it does.
No, okay. Well,
I don't think it
still,
does.
I'm excited that he did. It's also considered an engine building game and a bidding game. I really enjoy bidding. Hey,
Yeah.
John took all my time. You turn that timer off. All right, and my
All right, you get to finish your 5
okay.
minutes.
No, yeah, exactly. My
The
one
rest of us.
my one honorable mention is Wildcrats the game. I saw that. I thought it'd be really fun for the kids, but I saw this from Rather Dashing Games, and I was like, what have they done? I looked, and I didn't recognize any of their games, so I was like, maybe not. But I almost talked about that one. So, all right,
that was
guys. 2 things on the end of that note.
Oh, can I say something real fast?
Yeah, please.
Awesome. There was one honorable mention that I looked at that I'm not sure if it'll be any good, but it just intrigued me. It was called First in Flight by Artana.
Yes, that looks great.
Okay.
That looks amazing.
Kind of fun.
I did remember seeing that.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Yes.
So
It may be just because I've been obsessed with flighty things, because of I've seen Top Gun Maverick twice in theaters. It's just so fantastic, guys. You got to see it.
Okay.
yeah, never seen that. Never seen the first one, and I probably won't either.
Well, the first one's
It's
terrible,
gotta
but the
be
second
better
one's
than the first
really
one.
good.
That's all I can say.
The first one's
Has
terrible.
to.
Well, on that note, that's a great time to end this segment.
Like what you've seen, you'd like to see the entire episode, click on the link in the comments below.